your favourite team at the moment, John, and your favourite coach at the moment. Maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but it's...
Well, you are.
It's Manchester City.
You have been for a good while now. Go on.
It's Manchester City. Hoffenheim took a lead at the Etihad, 1-0 up, and at that point, City could have actually, far from top in the group, they could have gone out of the competition.
I don't think so, Eamon. I don't think so. No.
Well, no. I thought maybe I was watching the wrong television.
No, the next team that only had 8 points. They were guaranteed to finish in second spot.
Oh, they were, okay.
Anyway, go on.
In fairness to Guardiola, they have a terrible series of injuries now, and added to by David Silva going off the other night, and he's got a hamstring strain, and hamstrings don't heal very quickly. Aguero is injured, Sterling is injured. They have an injury crisis despite the depth in their squad. They don't have enough players fit at the moment, especially attacking players. Just fella Jesus, he hasn't worked. He started again the other night. Now you fancied him, I think, a little bit. Is he going to be a player?
I think he will, Eamon. I think he's having a bad time. You know, he's only about 20. You know.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
He's still young. There's a lot expected of him in that particular thing, and early on he did do extremely well. He looked a real player. I think his confidence is gone, as it can happen to young players, especially around the goal. So he's not playing well at the moment. There's no doubt about that. But I think he will come good in time. You know, he's definitely not playing well. I mean, he's played Sterling up front, and he's tried all sorts. Aguero, as you say, is out, so it's difficult for them at this particular time. But I think he will become a player. But there again, Manchester City, at any of the other teams, can't afford to wait. So it's a bit of a problem for them in that respect, that they don't have a replacement for Aguero at the moment. But what happened the other night, Eamon, I watched that match. Hoffenheim were pretty good. You know, they weren't scared of them. They went for the goal. They went in front early on. But Sané was very good.
Yeah.
He scored 2 goals. You know, he really, when they needed him, he really, really did his stuff. You know, and they went on to win it. They deserved to win it in the end, but it was a scare. But they did come back well in it, and Sané was very, very good for them. Yeah,
and apparently Fernandinho is now injured as well, and Mendy, who they paid a lot of money to Monaco for at the start of last season, spent the season out injured, got back, he's injured again now, and it looks like they want to buy a very good player, the Leicester City left back Chilwell.
Yes.
They're going to buy him in the transfer window, apparently in January. So when they do have a crisis, they can get out the checkbook, and of course there are massive questions around the financial fair play rules and whether they're being observed by City, but we'll leave that for the moment. Just reflecting on them, John, would you agree with me that this Premier League is a two-horse race between Liverpool and City?
Yes.
And it's a difficult to call, obviously. I'd be inclined to think, John, City have to go there to Etihad in January. I think Liverpool might give them a run for their money. A serious one.
No doubt. There's no doubt about that. Liverpool are very, very good. But you mentioned the big squad that City have, and they're still in a bit of trouble now. Now Liverpool might have to go through that.
But they have a big squad too now. I mean, they
do.
For example,
but, I mean, we're talking about the weekend even. You know, he's got 2 players out. Like it can happen. There's so many matches. The players are involved in, or the teams like Manchester City and Liverpool. Liverpool now qualify for the Champions League, as we know. Extra matches, it's huge for them. They have to have these big squads, and now it's a question of, look, do you get away with it? Do you get away with the injuries? Like, it can happen to anybody, as we know. So it's very, very difficult. But there's no doubt, like, man for man and the first team for first team, Liverpool are actually in front at the moment. They're having a great season, and I think it's touch and go. In the long run between them, and it's going to go. I think it's going to go to the last 2 or 3 matches. This particular chase, and I think it'll be a brilliant chase between those 2 teams, Eamon.
Yeah, just let's reflect on what these players are facing. I mean, they played in the Champions League this week. There was a full midweek Premier League programme last week. The week before that, there was the Nations League or whatever it was, international games, either in that or friendly games for South American players who had to go. Although Brazil played in Milton Keynes, which is a home game for them. But what's being demanded of players now, and it's very relevant to you and your sort of time with Leeds, you were in, I suppose, the same boat. But they are actually now, in my view, asking too much of the players. Physically, physically and emotionally, these immense games. I mean, if you look at Liverpool, for example, Napoli the other night, Manchester United to come, they just got a derby with Everton. They've had massive games. It's too much, John, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, the latest competition, international competition, I mean, is
the Nations League.
That was a make-you-up situation. But they're playing far too many games. There's no doubt. I mean, that's why Manchester City have to get the big squads, and they all do. And that's why Spurs, in the long run, I think, will pay the price. Liverpool are okay. They're not quite as strong panel-wise as Manchester City, but they need all those players, Eamon. It's just too much. I mean, I played in a team, obviously, that played 60-odd matches a season, but that caught up with us, Eamon, at the time. In those days...
In what way, at what stage in the season, in what way, when does it kick in? I mean, it looks to me as if it's kicking in now for some of these guys.
Well, it can do. Well, I think they're playing more matches now even than they were at my time at this, with the international matches, because Don Revie wasn't keen on letting players. In those days, they didn't have to allow players off for international matches, Eamon.
No.
A lot of times Revie say, no, you're not playing, you're not going, and that was it. And other teams did the same. But now you can't do that. So obviously there's more matches to be played. But it used to kick in, I think, around the Easter time, Eamon.
Yeah.
Around the Easter time, definitely kicked in. I mean, at one stage, I'm not crying wolf with Leeds, but at one stage we played Celtic in the semi-final, 2 legs. At the same time, we were playing Manchester United in a 3-legged semi-final.
Yeah, that was Celtic was the European Cup, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was. Yeah, that was the semi-finals. We played Manchester United, and this is all the same few weeks. We played Manchester United 3 times in the semi-finals, 2 replays, and Chelsea 2 finals going to extra time.
Yeah.
And we played Celtic in between those matches. Yeah. And in those days, you were playing the same team all the time. Yeah. So it definitely catches up with you. There's no doubt, and it's only common sense. I mean, if you're not playing that many matches, then you should be fresh as a daisy for the ones that you're playing. So they definitely need, even with the big squads now, like Manchester City probably have the biggest squad. But look at the amount of injuries they have.
Yes.
So they're in a tight situation. Liverpool have a couple of injuries that they can't afford, with Gomez going out and maybe 1 or 2 others. They can't afford to do it. It has to catch up with you sometimes along the way. So. We just have to wait and see how it goes. The injury situation could make the difference between Liverpool and Manchester City on the run-in from Christmas, Eamon.
Yeah, and another added feature of the present day is that the summer tours are arduous. Going to America, going to China, going all over the world, and at the same time, the World Cup... European Championship finals every second year, so you may be getting 3 weeks rest. I mean, in your day,
but that's self-inflicted, Eamon.
Oh yeah,
that's self-inflicted by the clubs, because that's money. That's just greed, in my opinion. The international matches they have to play; they don't have much choice on it. But certainly the tours. I mean, Manchester United going away, Liverpool probably will. It is big money. But I think it's too heavy a price with the condition of the players to be taking that money. Actually, again, going back a long time ago, now the big money wasn't there, but there was a fair bit of money in my day for the tours, especially when Leeds made a reputation. And Don Revie never went on one, Eamon.
Right.
Never went on one. Yeah. Actually, we used to play Bradford and all the local teams in the pre-season. No travel, get the matches in, and that was just pure common sense, especially with the amount of matches we were playing. But certainly, I think Liverpool and Manchester City have got to forget and not take the money in that, because it's too heavy a price for them.
Okay, John.